welcome back to the channel, guys. I want to introduce you to a cool little product I was recommended to by Mr. Dufresne of Kinetic Consulting, and that is called the MAGPOD. What a MAGPOD is basically just a little base for Magpul magazines, Gen 2 specifically, that acts like a little bit of a bipod. So, Gen 2 magazine from Magpul. Basically, when you've got your magazine on the ground, typically you're just putting like this portion, which makes for a very unstable and unnatural platform when you're laying in prone. What it does is turn a magazine into a bipod by flattening out the bottom of the magazine. So, I'm going to show you how easy it is to take a Gen 2 magazine and convert it over to a MAGPOD Gen 2 magazine. So all I'm going to do is push down on that gray part with the dummy round and push on the bottom of the base plate with the other hand until it slides off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my finger inside this bottom follower here where the spring is so that it doesn't fly out as I slide this bad boy off the bottom of the magazine. Now I'm going to take this and discard it because I will never need it or use it again. I'm going to take the MAGPOD with the big elephant's foot rubberized part at the front of the magazine, and I'm just going to slide it back over until it clicks, and that's it. I don't love black magazines. I don't think black blends into any portion of nature, so before I install the rest of these on my case of Gen 2 Magpuls, I'm actually going to mask all of them up and paint them, and I'm going to do a little arts and crafts project, and we're going to take this entire box of magazines, we're going to mask them all off, we're going to paint them, we're going to put the MAGPODs on them, and then we are going to continue to label them and mark them for the event of a failure, or just to identify your mags versus your buddies, especially if you're at a class. You can't accuse anybody of stealing your magazines when they're clearly marked. So we're going to mark these with a paint pen in the way that I've been numbering my magazines, and continue that series, and I'll show you how it looks and works on an actual rifle out in the field. So let's go grab a rifle. So I grabbed a rifle off the rifle rack back there. This is my Knights Armament 11.5. I'm just going to use it because it's nice and short. No magazine in it. It is empty. Nothing in the chamber, nothing on the bolt face, nothing in the magazine. Well, this thing is good to go. So we're going to mask off this whole box of 10 Gen 2 mags, and I want to just show you a quick trick on how I do it when I'm not painting a magazine with a rifle. If I'm just painting. So just insert, tug, make sure it's in there nice and solid. So just take a quick section of masking tape, and I just put it right where the magazine enters the mag well. And then what I do is I take another strip and I make just the tiniest little line. Just like that. And then I remove this one. Just mark all the rest of the magazines like that, and I'll mask off all the way up to the top, the feed ramps, or sorry, the feed lips and the follower. So now they're masked off. Nice line across here. Same on the other side. Feed lips and follower are protected. Alright, got all our magazines masked off, we got our paint, we got our mesh, a little piece of cardboard to lay down on it, and we're just going to spray a base coat. Alright, I've let those dry in the sun, well not the sun, but out here for roughly 30 minutes. They are dry to the touch, so I'm gonna flip them all, and hopefully I have enough paint left over in these cans to do the other side. Alright, it's all dry to the touch, both sides. Decent coat. Now I'm going to use the old mesh laundry bag trick. everything got all painted. I had enough to do, you know, barely the bottom half of all of my magazines. So now we've got our MAGPOD, our painted magazine with the factory base plate, and a dummy round. And all I'm going to do is depress this little portion right here in the middle with the dummy round. And I'm going to slide it off towards the front. So with my other hand, I'm going to make sure that the spring and the follower stay in. I'm just going to set that aside because I'll never need it again, and slide this on from the front. I just slide it on till it goes click, and that's it. She's done. I now have painted Magpul Gen 2 MAGPOD style magazines. Easy peasy. So now that they're all assembled, painted, and I've already loaded these bad boys up for use for the range this weekend, last thing I need to do is to number them and mark them as my own. That way there's no confusion on the range, and if I have a malfunction on one of my magazines, I can check it out to one particular number. So the last two magazines I numbered in my collection were number 30 and number 31. So we're going to start here on 32. And work our way across until we've got them all labeled. So I'm going to use a Sharpie paint pen. This is a piece of scrap cardboard. I like to dab it and kind of write on it to make sure it's flowing well before I start marking the magazines. And unfortunately on Magpul Gen 2s, there is no dot matrix like there is on the Gen 3s. So you can see here that on the Gen 3s there's these little dot matrix that kind of help you number and arrange, and there's also a similar pattern here on the bottom that you can set up however you like for your style of marking your magazines. So I'm going to start with number 32. Okay, so what I want to show you is a quick demo of just a standard base mag or a magazine base plate, just real quick, empty. Rifle is also empty. To show you the benefits of a MAGPOD. So, if I were shooting and needed to get in a more stable platform, I only have the bottom portion of my magazine resting on the ground. So if I'm in here, I get a lot of wobble. Now, compare that to, say, a MAGPOD. And already, I have a much more completely stable platform. Yeah, this is not going anywhere. I can push it down into the ground. Hey, buddy. Do you want to do some shooting? So, stable-wise, this really digs into the ground. The rubberized foot really helps get good purchase on different surfaces. And you can put this on just about any flat surface or even uneven surfaces and really get a good purchase on the ground to make your rifle stable. So already a big fan of that. So MAGPODs, I've only had one range day trip on them. It was used actually on a shooting table to zero the RMR that I just recently installed on top of my ACOG, and it was phenomenal. Typically I use this Picatinny rail to attach a quick disconnect LaRue Harris Bipod combo. Anytime I'm zeroing a rifle, I just want a very stable platform, so I know that any of my shots that aren't where I want them are on me and not the gun wobbling around. So really like the ability of a dual serving function. Obviously magazines hold ammo and fuel up my gun, but at the same time now they can also act as a bipod for the rifle and give it extra stability, which I really appreciate. So dual functionality in one component. If you're loading yourself up on weight, might as well make sure that it serves more than one purpose if you're going to carry it all over creation and back while you're training. So highly recommend these MAGPODs. I think they do an excellent job. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you liked today's video, give it a like. If you didn't, a dislike. Subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.